Hi, I'm Jessica Devine from Rise Above Lyme. I would like to start by recommending printing or emailing the eye-opening letter in the description box below. Please click subscribe now so you get alerted to my next video. This also increases the chances that more people get educated on the issues Lyme patients face. Please send this letter to doctors if you receive the abuse that I am about to speak on. I did this for the Rise Above Lyme group to help patients fight back with accurate, undeniable information and sources. I have had countless experiences with doctors dismissing Lyme disease just because they are not educated about it. Most people admit their lack of knowledge. I had a top cardiologist and another specialist tell me that they learned less than a page about Lyme disease in medical school. Nothing else is required of them. I've heard other people tell me their doctors admit the same. Whether it be prevention, acute care, or chronic Lyme treatment, there's a serious lack of knowledge on the part of our medical professionals. One ER doctor actually looked at my blood work showing 5 tick-borne diseases in my blood, and he stated, "No one can have this many." So I suppose I created those results? Shame on him for not knowing that Lyme disease rarely travels alone, and most patients have at least 3, if not more, other infectious diseases from that tick bite. I've had hematologists, neurologists, etc. all say they don't know much. Several primary doctors admit they never learned about my co-infections, which can be deadly. I have had doctors literally Google right in front of me for more information. I had hundreds upon hundreds of comments in the Rise Above Lyme group by some of our members who wanted to share their experiences regarding how they were dismissed by their doctors. I have Rocky Mountain spotted fever, along with Lyme, Babesia, Bartonella, Ehrlichia, and more. The tick that bit me was the size of a poppy seed. I got bit inside of a cabin at Shaver Lake in California. Surviving Rocky Mountain spotted fever without intervention is often deadly. I was finally diagnosed almost 4 years after being accused of only having depression and anxiety by 30 doctors. A few doctors told me early Parkinson's, early Alzheimer's, MS, lupus, arthritis, fibromyalgia, and chronic fatigue syndrome. I had a doctor witness one of my Lyme seizures and said, "I'm a type A personality," and then he prescribed Xanax. I finally became bedridden and unable to walk without help. The symptoms I would not wish on my worst enemy. Because I wasn't treated immediately, despite being seen in a timely manner, I don't get the luxury of a cure. We must educate our doctors. Don't be afraid to stand up to doctors that dismiss your symptoms. I would be dead if I hadn't. Dr. PHILLIPS even said, "I've had patients literally come to me with PTSD. No exaggeration." He added, "They come in and they're traumatized by the medical community. They've been disbelieved, marginalized, disenfranchised, and they just have nowhere to go." And it's a human rights issue, I think, nowadays, as much as a scientific issue. Because for these patients to be ignored and criticized when all they did was get bit by a bug, it's unconscionable. I have to vent this to everyone. I hear these stories daily. These were all my experiences in the beginning too. So Lyme disease is in the infectious disease doctor category. When I first received all my results years ago, I tried frantically to reach out to 25 different infectious disease doctors in my area. 25. My neurologist and my cardiologist also sent referrals. None of them would let me make an appointment. I mean, every single one of them said one of three things. We aren't allowed to treat Lyme. We can't see you in our office. Yes, we take your insurance, but we aren't allowed to see you. And sorry, we can't treat Lyme. This is their area of medicine. So I vent today because my primary, who I adore, insisted on trying to send me to 2 separate infectious disease departments at major hospitals with big names. I told her to feel free, but I warned her. She received notice that each of them rejected her referral. How is this not reliving what the AIDS patients went through back in the 80s? Just because you don't know how to help us doesn't mean you should pretend we or the disease itself doesn't exist. It takes brave, courageous doctors that take their oath seriously to come together and try to figure this out for all the people that suffer. Sadly, those that do care and treat Lyme patients have come to that practice because either they themselves have gotten Lyme or they love someone who did. Once you are actually a person infected with or impacted by the horror and disability Lyme can create, you realize quickly how little help there is available to you. Denying to help people with the disease like this just because you don't know what to do is not an excuse. Cures are only found by those that say, "I'll try." Others who won't try should be ashamed. For the record, I have positive labs for Lyme, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, Babesia, Bartonella, and Ehrlichia. All of these are the category of infectious disease medicine. So I've been at this for a while, and in my experience, I have advice for new people and those in the beginning stages of navigating this disease. There is a lot of emotional trauma that we can take in from the abuse from doctors. So I say this now as I wish someone would have said it to me years ago. If a doctor does not show you respect, listen, and believe the severity of your symptoms, or tries to dismiss this disease or the suffering you are enduring, leave. Move on now. Fire that doctor. Form your team of doctors and specialists that listen and try to help with your symptoms. It may take meeting several, but the good ones do exist. A practitioner does not have to understand Lyme fully or know how to treat it in order to help you in other ways. Most, especially by simply being compassionate and kind. I regret holding on to practitioners who disrespected and belittled me for far too long. Their attitudes and doubt made my mental and emotional state worse. I was suffering and already had little energy or reserves to try to heal. But we are fighting for our lives. We should not have to fight our doctors for their help. I take it far with new doctors now. I bring in research articles on the newest educational materials about the disease, since they truly never see but one page in medical school. Now, obviously, they do not receive current information, so I like to treat them with respect but I do show them confidence in the knowledge that I have when speaking to them. A Lyme literate practitioner is the most important person on your team. Mine literally saved my life years ago. I have managed to find a cardiologist that respects what I've been through and acknowledges my concerns and actually knows the effect of Lyme what it causes to the heart. But he went outside the box to learn. I have a primary now that helps run labs to assist my Lyme doctor. She didn't have an ego to get in the way. A real doctor tries, period. Please feel free to use my Dear Doctor letter in the description box. Email it to them so that they can read the links. I also suggest sending them the links to interviews with the top Lyme-educated doctors that I also included below. Take your power back by being your own health advocate. You are worth fighting for. Thanks for listening.